Hello and welcome to Mediabee Color Lab. Today I'm going to show you an easy way to create cinematic Hollywood-style color in DaVinci Resolve. Instead of building everything from scratch, it will simplify the process while still achieving a polished cinematic result. So if you're looking for a faster workflow without of course sacrificing quality, you're in the right place. And before we get started, I'm also giving away both of my Film LUT collections, that is all 32 LUTs, to 10 lucky winners. I'll tell you how to enter at the end of the video. Now, if you are ready, let's jump in. Before we get started, let me quickly show you my project settings. Here are my master settings, which I've matched to the native resolution of the footage. By the way, this beautiful footage was shot by the incredibly talented cinematographer John Brawley. John has worked on acclaimed productions including The Morning Show, The Great, Bad Monkey, and many others, and he's generously made this footage available for the community through Blackmagic design. So, if you'd like to follow along with this tutorial using the exact same clip, you can actually download it for free from the Blackmagic design website. I'll leave a link in the description below, so feel free to check it out. Now, here are my color management settings. As usual, I'm using DaVinci White Gamut Intermediate as my working color space. And my output color space is set to Rec 709 Gamma 2.4, which is still the standard for SDR delivery on many platforms. Everything else is left at my usual defaults, so let's move on to the grade. Here I've already set up my input and output color space transforms. In the input CST, I'm converting the footage from Blackmagic Design Film Generation 5 into DaVinci White Gamut Intermediate, which becomes my working color space. Here I've also disabled tone mapping to preserve as much of the original image information as possible during the conversion. Then in the output CST, I convert everything back to Rec 709 Gamma 2.4 for display. And this is where I apply DaVinci Resolve's own tone mapping, set to 10,000 nits. This structure keeps the entire grading process scene referred and lets Resolve handle the display transform right at the end of the pipeline. Alright, let's add our first node. I'll call this one Prep because this is where I'll balance the tonal distribution and create a better starting point for the grade. Here, if we take a look at the waveform, you can see that the entire image is sitting a little too close to the bottom of the scope. So before we start adding any creative adjustments, I want to open up the image and establish, a healthier tonal foundation. To do that, I'll start with the primary wheels. First, I'll adjust the gamma wheel, since it mainly affects the midtones while also gently lifting the shadows. Somewhere around here works well. Then I'll make a small adjustment to the lift wheel to gently raise the shadows as well and create a more, open tonal foundation. Awesome. And that's already looking much better. As you can see on the waveform, we now have a healthier tonal distribution, giving us a much stronger foundation for the rest of the grade. Now let's add another node. This time I want to focus on the highlights. One of the biggest differences between digital looking footage and a more cinematic image is the way highlights roll off. Rather than ending abruptly, I want them to transition more gradually into the brightest parts of the image, creating a softer, more natural look. To do that, I'll first isolate the highlights using a luminance qualifier. Here I'll soften the selection, then bring up the low handle until I'm happy with the range. Okay, I think that looks good. For highlight roll-off, I really like using the HDR wheels. They give you much more precise control over specific tonal regions. And if we enable the tonal range display, you can actually see which part of the image each wheel is affecting. I also like increasing the fall-off in HDR wheels, especially for the light wheel. This creates a much smoother and more natural transition, especially in bright areas. Now, I'll gently bring the light wheel down, somewhere around here. Since I don't want to lose all that beautiful texture in the highlights, I'll compensate that by increasing the highlight wheel slightly. Small difference, but really meaningful. By the way, because we've isolated the highlights with a qualifier, we can actually use the primary wheels here as well, without affecting the rest of the image too much. To show you that, I'll bring the gain down just a little here, then make small adjustments to gamma and lift to preserve the overall tonal balance and separation. Okay, let's check the before and after. Yes, I like that much better. As a final touch, I'll add just a little mid-tone detail here. This helps restore some local contrast so the image doesn't start feeling soft or muddy after all the highlight adjustments. Let's compare it one more time. Beautiful. The highlights now transition much more naturally, and the image already feels less digital and more cinematic. Now we're getting to the fun part, adding the cinematic look. But before we dive in, I want to briefly talk about today's giveaway of my entire LUT collections, which is a total of 32 LUTs. I created these LUTs last year after receiving so many requests from you guys, and since their release, thousands of filmmakers and colorists, of course, have been using them in their projects, and I've received so much wonderful feedback from all over the world. Thank you so much for that. These LUTs are designed to work with virtually any camera, as long as you're working in a proper color managed workflow like the one we are using today. Each collection includes detailed video tutorials showing exactly how I use them in my real projects. And if you ever have any questions, just send me an email and I'm always happy to help. They're available as an instant download, and if you'd rather spread out the cost, you can also pay in installments through PayPal. So to celebrate today's tutorial, I'm giving away all 32 LUTs to 10 lucky winners. Entering is super easy. Just like this video, leave a comment below, and follow Mediabee Color Lab on Instagram. That's it. The deadline to enter is July the 12th, 2026. After that, I'll randomly select 10 winners and announce them 1 week after this video goes live. So if you'd like to enter, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, and follow Mediabee Color Lab on Instagram. Now, let's put these LUTs to work and see how I actually use them in a real grading session. Since I want this footage to have a more stylized cinematic feel, I'll start with Cobalt from Volume 1. Let's apply it. Beautiful. You can see how quickly it transforms the mood of the image. And the good part is you can adjust its strength to your taste easily. I think I'll lower it to 50% for a more natural look. Let's toggle it on and off. Gorgeous. Now, honestly, if you're happy with this result, you could just stop here and continue refining the rest of your grade. But I want to push this image a little further and create something more stylized. So let me add another note here and I'll apply a second LUT. Let's explore a few options here from Volume 2 this time. Nice ones. You know what? Let me first lower the key output gain in this node as well, because they were looking a little too strong. Okay, now let's try it again. Wow, look at that one. I love it. It is a strong one, this LUT, but fits the footage really well, I think, since it's a desert scene after all. But if you're after something more natural, of course, a single LUT is probably all you need. But here I really like the result of this combination. Let's toggle both LUTs on and off so you can see how they work together to shape the overall look. Wow, it's definitely on the stylized side, but that's exactly the direction I was going for. Now we can refine this grade. In the next note, I want to focus on his skin, because the warm look we created with the LUTs also affected his skin tones. So we'll need to dial it back slightly to achieve a more natural result. And for that I'll use color slice. But first let's switch over to the vector scope and zoom in a little bit. Yes. Now, as you can see, the image is sitting a little closer to yellow on the vector scope. So I'll push the skin tone slightly towards red. Something like this. Good. And maybe we can increase the density, skin density, just a little as well. Let's check it. Yes, I think that's a much healthier skin tone. In the next note, I'll add one of my favorite effects, texture pop. This will help enhance local contrast and, bring out fine details, giving the image a little more depth and dimensionality without making it look overly sharp. Somewhere around here. Let's zoom in a little bit and check the difference. Beautiful. Now we can see all those details in the image. And in my final note, I want to focus on the building behind him, because we can use it to create a little more color separation, split toning. I'll start by drawing a power window around it and softening the edges. Normally I would do these adjustments using my control panel, but since not everyone has it, I'll use my mouse instead. Now, using primary wheels, I'll cool the building down slightly and lower its luminance just a bit. There we go. Let's toggle it on and off. I love it. It creates much better color separation and also adds depth and helps the subject stand out naturally. Now, let's see how far we've come. What a transformation. We started with an ungraded image, and with just a handful of carefully placed adjustments, we've turned it into something much more cinematic and stylized. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and don't forget to follow Mediabee Color Lab on Instagram to enter the giveaway. As I said, I'll randomly select 10 winners to receive my complete Film LUT collection, both Volume 1 and Volume 2, for a total of 32 LUTs. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps support my work and lets me create more content for all of you. As always, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.